The Invisible Man, starring Elizabeth Moss, who pretty much held the entire audience in the palm of her hand during the entirety of the movie. Oliver Jackson-Cohen is the villain, but we only get like maybe 10 minutes of his face in the entire movie. Eldris Hodge, who first time I can remember seeing him was in Supernatural, and he's put on weight. He's a big dude now. You know, he's been to the gym. And Storm Reed, who plays the daughter, it was good. It was real good, actually. It's about an abusive man who is treating his fiance horribly. He's controlling her life. We get the idea, the picture that he's beating her and perhaps doing even worse to her, which kind of sucks, you know. She escapes, and he knew in advance that she was going to try to get away from him. So he was like, okay, all right, because I'm rich, instead of just stalking you on cyberspace and, you know, adding your friends to my friends list on Facebook, I want to spend millions, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars and create a way to become invisible. Because that makes more sense to a genius. I don't know. I've heard stories about men stalking women. I've actually been stalked by a woman myself. So I know, you know, that there's ways of doing it without spending all your cash to become invisible. So, yeah, he did that. You know, so he could terrorize her and what have you. So he turned himself invisible, and he's doing everything that you could imagine being invisible you could do to somebody. And the camera shots were incredible because the suspense comes a little bit from the acting, a little bit from the music, a lot from the camera, because the camera was following her and then it stops and then it slowly goes back. It's like the camera is like, hey, what's that? But we can't see it. But the camera's looking at an empty room and it stays there for a second, and I'm almost like expecting to see something, and it was good. It look long looks down the hallway, and you just know there's something there, but you can't see it because he's invisible. I almost expect him to just go blah 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 and jump out, but he's invisible and he's trying to be quiet. I'm thinking to myself, he's in the cold, he's in the house, he's in, you know, he's wherever. Isn't he naked? Because he'd have to, you know, was his clothes invisible too? There's an answer for that by the end of the movie. Well, not even by the end. I'd say by the beginning of the third act, they let you know what's going on with him being buck naked, walking around the house and wherever. So he's tormenting her. He puts her in a position where she has to still abide by his rules even after he fakes his death. That's how he becomes invisible and gets into her life, because she thinks he's dead. When she thinks he's dead, she's like, oh, okay, well, I can get up, I can get out, I can live my life, I can do whatever I want to do, yada, yada, yada. He's not around. Aha, he is. So that's the basis of the movie. This dude who she thinks is dead is actually invisible. He's just walking around, hanging out in her life, doing things to her, which these things suck. So Elizabeth Moss is in every scene of the movie. I'd say if not every scene, 98% of the entire movie is the camera on her or panning to or from her during a scene. And again, that's what gave all of the theatric drama to the movie. You're looking at it and it's like dun dun dun, follow the camera. And that was really, really good. The camera work was incredible on this. The cameraman should be added as one of the actors because he pulled off a great thing. The director, the cameraman working together, they with an empty room, man, and they just filled it with terror. It was pretty good. It was really, really a good movie. It's one of the better, if not the best, Invisible Man adaptations that I've seen. I mean, you had Abbott and Costello did it. Kevin Bacon did it. Chevy Chase did it. Claude Rains, of course, did it. I mean, the list goes on and on. Everybody did an Invisible Man movie. This one, I think, is maybe the best. I think maybe the best. I'll say this. Fist fighting with somebody you can't see sucks. And the guys in the movie will tell you that for sure. So I enjoyed this movie. In fact, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I enjoyed this movie so much that I'm going to give it, in my humble opinion, 8 bags of popcorn, man. 8 bags of popcorn. And that's all I got to say about that. What's your favorite Invisible Man adaptation? Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.